What's up guys, Steven here, 1, 2, and 2, and it's review day. Ah yes, review day. And just like last year with my Zaboomafoo review, I figured this year we would look at a different PBS kids show, because Zaboomafoo wasn't the only thing I decided to watch on PBS when there was nothing good on Kids WB. No, another show that I watched as a kid was Liberty's Kids. It's Liberty's kids possessive, like they are Liberty's children. Like the statue out in the harbor gave birth to them. Does that make their dad the Colossus of Rhodes? History jokes. Liberty's Kids is a flag-waving, apple pie crapping, Liberty Bell cracking cartoon starring 3 youths during the American Revolution who worked for old Benjamin Franklin at his newspaper, presumably writing said newspaper while he's off in France banging some strange. And I'm proud to be an American. Good job, Benny. Our 3 hero journalists are as follows. James McFreedom Boy, your typical blonde youth with aspirations to be a colonial freedom fighter. Sarah, I can't voice act Phillips, a fellow journalist who takes on the role as a British loyalist. And Mati from Captain Planet, who's, French. The show's almost completely episodic, with our heroes traveling around colonial America, reporting on various famous events from the Revolution. So today we're gonna pick a random episode. How about episode 113, The Turtle. As with all episodes, it begins with its theme song. It's also probably the thing I remember most about this show. Because, oh my god, this thing is a bop. But really though, like seriously, who made this?
Wait, Aaron Carter. What?
Holy shit, I never noticed that line as a kid. What is this, Evanescence? At the end of the theme song, we are presented with this splash screen that looks like it was copied right out of a point-and-click adventure based on the show itself. But really, it looks like you could just mouse over these 3 guys. If you play as James, you end up as the hero of the revolution with land and the ability to vote. Or you could play as Sarah, who gets to die at the ripe old age of childbirth. Or you can pick Henry, join the Planeteers, get a pet monkey, get beheaded next to Marie Antoinette not 20 years later. After that banger of a theme song, we're presented with this weird synopsis of the episode. Like, dude, spoilers. This is worse than like a Dragon Ball Super title card.
A challenge from Champa. This time, a baseball game. It's not as good as the driving episode.
Next up is another staple of every episode. Sarah writes to her mother as a lazy plot device to explain where the kids are during the revolution so they don't need to travel during a literal war.
Lord Admiral Howe has arrived with nearly 30,000 troops, and the wooden walls of his fleet have sealed off Manhattan Island.
Ah, just like when there's a fender bender on the GWB. Meanwhile, as Sarah is expositing, our other 2 heroes find themselves putzing around the docks until they come across the fisherman from Jaws, who explains that there's a monster in the harbor.
Round it was, bright like a candle.
You know, that was the time I was most frightened, waiting for my turn.
Feisty girl, eh?
Whoa, settle down there, Ahab. She's not a white whale. She's a child. But that's okay, because immediately after hitting on Sarah, James propositions the old man for sex.
I'd like to rent your skiff tonight.
Deciding to investigate the claims of a monster, our heroes find themselves plunking around New York Harbor trying to avoid the bodies the mob's thrown in there.
See anything?
Yes. Trouble if we run into a patrol.
Oh, the monster!
Henri, no one believes in monsters. I remind you, this is the 18th century.
Yeah, Henry, it's 1775. Be better.
I have heard stories about giant beasts that eat whole ships in one bite.
That's more than I can swallow.
I'm just noticing this now, but this episode's kind of horny. I hope it doesn't get any worse. Just then, the monster attacks them.
It's the monster!
Wait a sec, is that a damn submarine?
That can't be right. What is his name? David Bushnell submarine? What? Holy crap! This is like legitimate. PBS, you son of a bitch.
Oh no, our heroes have come across and now been captured by members of the Continental Army. Here they meet military engineer David Bushnell, who interrogates James about what he thinks he's seen.
We saw that.
And that is?
I think it's some kind of underwater boat.
that you're going to attack the Redcoats with.
Okay, how? How did you conceive of that? This should be completely foreign to you. Okay, I guess we'll just assume that James is either a genius or a psychic and put this all together with context clues.
Which begs the question of what to do with you three spies.
We are not spies. We're journalists.
Ah yes, a journalist. That's much better than a spy. Don't just tell my secrets to the other side. Put it in a newspaper and publish it. Nice.
For Benjamin Franklin's Pennsylvania Gazette.
My word.
Why do you have a copy of that right now?
Oh.
Ah, okay.
You three may stay, but only if you give your word you'll withhold the story until after the attack.
We agree. Now, Mr.
Bushnell. David Bushnell, late of Saybrook, Connecticut.
For somebody who's just accused you three of being spies, Bushnell's being particularly open with his name and his top secret submarine plans. Damn, Bushnell, how did we win this war? With fucking submarines, I guess.
What is that?
I call it a rotating oar. It moves the vessel forward.
And this one helps it go under.
Mr. Bushnell, you have created what men have dreamt of.
A girlfriend? A third hand? The ability to fly? No, a fucking submarine. I can't get over that. How am I just learning this? Bushnell then proceeds to explain that they're going to use his fucking submarine to pierce a hole in the hull of English Admiral Howe's flagship in the harbor, to which Sarah is aghast.
But the soldiers will have no warning.
So then Bushnell is forced to mansplain war to Sarah.
But we are at war, Miss Phillips, and soldiers understand war.
Presumably, the war she has been writing about for several episodes now.
There's also pumps, ballast weights, rudder, no end of things to turn, pump, screw, and unscrew.
You know what? I'm actually shocked. It got hornier.
I know there's a lot to learn, Sergeant. I wish we had more time for training.
Okay, so anyway. Just then, General Putnam appears out of the water to explain to Bushnell that those damn Brits took their towboat and they have no way to get the submarine into position. He also takes a little bit of time to proposition James for sex.
Yes, I've met the boy. A fine show at Bunker Hill in Boston, eh, lad?
Ah, have the tables turned. Full of sexual vigor, James decides to volunteer him and his friends to tow the turtle into position themselves because, as children, they should go unnoticed by the English Navy. To which General Putnam decides this is a great idea, entrusting the safety of this highly classified submarine to these three kids. Seriously, how did we win this?
Sarah, could you please make a sketch of the turtle for the paper?
I suppose so.
In a true bros before hoes moment, James confides in Matee that they should not just tell Sarah the complete details of their plan because of her dubious loyalty. In order not to look suspicious on the night of the attack, our heroes decide that a little night fishing is in order to get the British used to them bobbing around in the harbor during a blockade, to which they were immediately detained with all the probable cause you could possibly have.
Hey, Sue! I'm coming aboard!
Wait, what did you just say?
Hey, Sue!
Hey, dude? Hey, dude. The caption says, hey, too, but I keep hearing, hey, dude. There's three people in the boat, unless he's like a hyper misogynist and doesn't see Sarah as a person. This is just a horrible anachronism. Finally noticing that Sarah exists, I guess, this offer decides to ask Sarah why she's writing notes.
They are notes for writing my mother and my adventures in the colonies.
Your mother takes a keen interest in military affairs.
There's nothing seditious about an intelligent woman wanting to keep well informed.
That's for Black Dick to decide.
Black Dick? That's what the sailors call Admiral Howe. Give us Black Dick and we fear nothing.
What?
But why do they call him Black Dick?
Perhaps he has a dark temperament.
We're going to find out.
Yes! Yes! Maximum So that officer brings them to go see Black Dick himself, Admiral Howe, who is in the middle of chastising one of his officers for underestimating the intelligence of the American colonists, especially Benjamin Franklin.
I see you've never met Benjamin Franklin. He may be many things, including a rebel, but his worst enemy would not dare call him ignorant.
Though I guess I'm not surprised a guy named Black Dick has a good respect for Benjamin Franklin. They're two balls of the same scrot, if you know what I mean.
Don't underestimate the Americans, Captain. They're carving a nation out of wilderness.
Oh, and like, this guy doesn't have a dark temperament.
And how is my dear friend, Dr. Franklin?
Is there anyone the boss doesn't know?
He is very well, thank you.
Yeah, I bet he is.
Young lady, I want your word as a loyal subject of the crown that you're taking no action against us.
You have it. It's the truth.
Why is everyone hinging military intelligence on the promises of a couple of kids?
Oh.
Miraculously, somehow our three heroes are just kind of let go, despite the fact they were acting extremely suspicious. So suspicious, in fact, that Sarah knows that the boys aren't telling her everything. So she confronts them and James immediately confesses.
You two have been acting odd all night. What is going on?
We're going to tow the turtle and be part of the attack.
What?
I don't know why he wouldn't have waited until after they attempted to get the turtle into position, but sure, compromise the mission.
I wanted to tell you right away.
Thanks, Henri.
Devastated by the betrayal of her friends, Sarah gives probably the best voice performance she gives in the whole episode.
Admiral Howe, you have made me a liar. I've never lied in my life.
Never?
What? No.
Sensing dissent in the ranks, Bushnell decides it's probably best to keep Sarah out of the boat for fear of her alerting British troops due to her loyalist tendencies.
Give me a minute.
James then explains to Sarah that he needs to go despite her being upset with him, and leaves to go on the mission.
It's wrong.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I've got to go.
Meanwhile, at the docks, Bushnell's engineering prowess seems to extend into ancient yokai magic from feudal Japan.
It'll be dark, but the foxfire moss inside will provide light enough to read the depth gauge.
Hey, enough of that. Cut to 2/3 of our heroes towing the turtle out into the harbor, only to be approached by Sergeant Lee, the man intended to pilot the turtle, voicing his apprehensions about being a man from 1775 responsible for piloting a submarine, something that should be a work of fiction to this man. This guy probably learned this damn thing existed yesterday.
Still wish I had more training.
You'll do fine. I'm sure of it.
This is like me being asked to pilot a flying saucer. All the while on the shore, Sarah asks Bushnell why he's not piloting the turtle despite it being his invention. To which he explains he's too much of a bitch and his jacked-ass brother was supposed to do it, but he got sick. So they got pathetic-ass Sergeant Lee who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And you know what? He fucks it up.
The bomb should have exploded by now. Something's wrong.
Because Lee doesn't know how to pilot a fucking submarine, Sarah decides it's up to her to go save her friends from being captured by the British. But she does need to act quickly because they're about to get captured and Lee's about to run out of air. Too bad the English don't have Goku right now. Gasping for air, Lee manages to release the bomb, to which Bushnell decides we haven't had enough Jaws references in this show yet, and has one of his men shoot the bomb to blow it up.
Smile, you son of a bitch. That'll send them running and loosen that dreaded blockade.
And in the confusion, our heroes are able to escape, and Black Dick decides it's time to pull out.
Hey, this video's dumb.
With the dust settled, our heroes confront their problems. Sarah explains to James that by not trusting her, he hurt her feelings. And in typical man fashion, James hears what he wants to hear.
I just didn't know which side you were really loyal to.
Whichever one it may be. Nothing would change my loyalty to my friends.
Thanks to you two, my turtle will live to fight another day.
I'm afraid it'll be without us, sir. A wise lady has reminded me that good journalists record events. They don't make events.
Wait, that's your takeaway? First of all, that has like nothing to do with what she said. And secondly, I don't even think that's a particularly good lesson to begin with. Like, sure, I get that journalists aren't supposed to go out and make news, but hey, you know, if there's like a puppy drowned in the well, you don't just write about it, you go and save the puppy, come on. And then our episode ends with Sarah bookending it with another one of her letters to her mother. Here she explains that the tenacity and ingenuity of the colonists perhaps may have weakened her English loyalties. And that's Liberty's Kids, a show I am very passionate about and didn't just review because of the black dick joke, because that would be lying, and lying is bad. Because, you know, I was listening to Sarah. So how would I review this episode of Liberty's Kids? I don't know, how about 3 out of 5 fucking submarines? You know what? I'm actually curious now. Why did they call him Black Dick? Oh, you know.